All right, this is Luis Sandro at FightHype.com here with Joel Diaz. Joel, I might have a little bit of time, so I got to get right into it, man. Timothy Bradley broke news. You guys not together anymore. Just first of all, your initial reaction. What do you want to tell everybody about the situation?
Well, the situation between Bradley and I, I just believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that, there's better things for us, better things for him, and better things for me probably. If he decided to make that change, it's great. We move on. He's still in the business. I'm still in the business. My career is still here. I'm gonna be here longer than he is. And I'm just moving on. Nothing. It just caught me off guard. I put in so much time, so much work with him, and as well as him. We built this together, and for him to just make that all of a sudden decision, it just throws me off a little bit. But in a way, it gives me the motivation to keep working. I got a lot of fighters. I got a great stable. I got a camp. If it bothered him, just saying that I was leaving him for a couple of days or a day during camp to go with my fighters, then I just think it's been a little selfish because, every trainer in the world does that, and they gotta understand that as a trainer, you gotta maintain your job, and that's my job, But I never left him for a week, never left him for months, it was just a day or two, but I don't blame him, he's got too much people around him that are telling him, what's right and wrong, and tension was already there. So I don't wish anything but the best for him. I just hope that he keeps moving on with great success and good health.
Joel, would you be willing to work with him again if whatever he does after doesn't work out and he comes back and said, Joel, you know what, I want to work with you again? Because we've seen that happen a lot with other fighters. Would you still be willing to work with Tim?
No. I have too much pride in myself. For example, if he goes back and he gets a loss, or if he decides to get a trainer and things don't work out with his trainer, because Timothy is very special. Timothy and his team around him are very special. If they decide to think about it and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get you all back, there's no return from my part, because he really touched a point that he shouldn't have touched. And I know it wasn't him. I have a feeling it wasn't him. Him coming after the Vargas fight and asking me if I helped him for that fight in a good way, or if I just did it for a paycheck. That really hurt me. So as bad as it hurts, I take that really deep in consideration. And honestly, I'm gonna put my foot on the ground. And like I said, I hope he does well. He's a great person. He's very smart. Yeah. He's got all the ability. But there's a point of no return for me. Going back to him, no, I don't think. The only way I would go back and work with Bradley will be if he changes his entire team and lets me run the show the way I used to when we started together. Yeah. I was the leader of the pack, and I was always the one driving the bus. But now there's a lot of drivers in his bus, and it's not gonna happen anymore. Thinking about it, how he approached me and he asked me that question, I won't go back. I'll still say hi to him. I'll support him. I know how he is, and I know that every time he fights, I'll be looking out for him. And but up to there, that's it. I will not put a foot in a ring with him to work mitts or guide him again, because he said something that he shouldn't have said, because his last fight was not a defeat. He won. And if he goes back and looks at the video, everything I was telling him in that fight was for him to win. If I would have done it for a check, I wouldn't care. I would have just said, you know what, Tim, get in there and fight, lose or not. I mean, if you lose, it's fine. I'm there for money. But no, my priority was winning that fight for him. And he won. He won another title under my guidance. He got in trouble because he did it himself. But, it is what it is. We move on. Life doesn't end here. There's another chapter. I already closed a chapter, and that's the Bradley chapter. I took him to 5 world titles, beat some of the best fighters in the world. We built this together, him and I. Timothy Bradley himself and I and his father along built this together, and then a lot of people jumped in the bus and just broke the relationship.
What are your thoughts on they're saying Teddy Atlas might be a replacement for you? A lot of people kind of took that by surprise too. Are you surprised about that? And do you see anybody else that could that could be a good fit for Tim, or what are your reactions to that?
You know what? I really don't care. I really don't care who trains him. I know it's not going to work. In order for anybody to work with Bradley, they need to adapt to every single person around Bradley, and it's not going to work. I just don't see it. Either you have to be the person that has to take everything from what everybody says, or no. I think the only person that can train Bradley right now is a person that is going to be there just because he's going to get a good pay and say, okay, I'll take all the bullshit, and I'll hang in there. But if it's somebody that has pride, it's not gonna work. I would honestly just recommend for Bradley to just let his father train him. I think his father is the best person for him at this point of his career, because his dad knows he's been there along the way, and just get himself a cut man and a hand wrap guy. But other than that, I think his father is the proper person, the only person that can train him right now.
Joel, just a couple more questions. Did you have any inkling or any kind of suspicion that something was going on? That you said it caught you by surprise. That anything before that kind of hint at you, or 'cause a lot of people were just confused because you guys had a great run, nothing was going wrong. Was it anything else that you could point at that would have caused it, or were you that you saw it coming?
Oh yeah, I saw it coming since like 4 fights ago. And I remember when he fought Diego Chavez, just going into the fight. Everybody else had control over Bradley except me. Even going to his room to check up on him to see how his weight was, I had to go through so many people, man, and I didn't have no authority whatsoever. So I let it go just so that I wouldn't give him problems, put any stress on his head, so he could be comfortable, so he could be happy. But it was just too much already. It was just too much. That's what right now I feel. In a way, I feel relieved. I feel relieved that now I can focus on other fighters and make more champions and move on, And up to today, I just think that, after the conversation that him and I had the other day, we closed the chapter right there. Hey, Bradley and Diaz split ways, when usually a fighter and a trainer split ways when something goes wrong in the last fight. When they lose, something went wrong. Nothing went wrong in that fight. We won. He won a world title. But, Timothy has his mindset, and it's done, and I have my mindset. I don't wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully, if he fights whoever he fights, I wish him the best. Him and his entire people.
Well, Joel, man, always a great interview. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you tomorrow for the fight.
Thank you, man. Good talking to you guys.